Dobrого ranko. Good morning. My name is Henry Hale. I am a professor of political science and international affairs at George Washington University's Elliott School of International Affairs, director of IRIS, and director of our Petroc program on Ukraine. The Petroc program, founded in 1996, has been honored to support Ukrainian scholars and to promote understanding of Ukraine through research, teaching, and scholarly exchange for nearly 3 decades. I'm happy to say that we currently have 16 Ukrainian fellows in our program at the moment, both resident and non-resident, many of them displaced internally in Ukraine or externally, in partnership with the Kiev School of Economics and the Global Ukrainian University. And we also proudly support George Washington University's own Ukrainian American Student Association, many representatives of which are here. One of our major goals is to serve as a hub for students in the broader Washington community interested in Ukraine to inform themselves and help develop understanding of Ukraine and to work together in this endeavor with partner institutions in the Washington area. So in this context, we are especially pleased to join with Georgetown University's Edmund A. Walsh School of Foreign Service, which also offers a robust program of teaching and research on Ukraine and a great group of Ukrainian students, many of whom are here today as well. In order to welcome here today Ukraine's Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal for a conversation with you about the lessons that Ukraine can offer on the topic of action and result-oriented diplomacy in a changed world. Let me just, by way of introduction, say a few words about the Prime Minister. Boris Shmyhal graduated from Lviv Polytechnical National University in 1997 with a degree in mechanical engineering, and in 2003 earned his PhD in economics. From 1995 to 2009, he served as a business leader in Lviv. He began government service in 2009, where he started to work in the Lviv region state administration and then the region's government. In 2015, he returned to business, serving over the course of the next 4 years in positions including CEO, supervisory board member, and director of multiple major corporations. And after President Zelensky's election in 2019, Denis Shmyhal, among other things, became head of the Ivano-Frankivsk region state administration and served as deputy prime minister and then minister of community and territorial development before, on March 4th, 2020, being appointed Prime Minister of Ukraine, the position that he still occupies. Let me also say that moderating the discussion today will be Dr. Alyssa Ayres, Dean of the Elliott School of International Affairs. Appointed in February 2021, Dr. Ayres is the first woman to serve as permanent dean at the Elliott School. She is a foreign policy practitioner and award-winning author with senior experience in the government, nonprofit, and private sectors, including being a senior fellow at the Council of Foreign Relations, where she remains an adjunct senior fellow. And from 2010 to 2013, she served as Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for South Asia in the United States State Department. She received her baccalaureate from Harvard College, and an MA and PhD from the University of Chicago. I'm delighted to welcome now to the stage Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal, who will share some opening remarks, and then Dr. Ayres will take the floor to moderate the rest of the discussion. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hale, for your kind introduction. Dear Dean Iris, dear friends, thank you for the honor of the invitation to George Washington University. We are also deeply thankful to Georgetown University's Walsh School of Foreign Service for co-sponsoring this event. Dear friends, it's really an honor for me to be here, to have this very open, very frank conversation with you. First of all, let me express the words of highest appreciation to American nation, to all Americans, for absolutely unwavering support of my country, Ukraine, during this full-scale invasion of Russian military forces, full-scale aggression, Russia against Ukraine. We really appreciate, we're really thankful to all of you for your unwavering support during this most difficult time of our history. Today's conversation is about how we Ukrainians have gone beyond traditional diplomacy and turned it into a tool of action and decisions. I will speak about how Ukraine pushes the boundaries of traditional diplomacy in a changing world. So we'll propose you a discussion how modern diplomacy is changed. If I may, I begin from my personal story. I became Prime Minister more than 5 years ago, and I had worked in normal conditions only 7 days. It was COVID times, and March 4th I was appointed. March 12th we implement emergency situation in Ukraine, total lockdown, and our government became work in online regime. We were first government on the European continent, and I think that we were first government on the globe who became work totally in online. It was helpful. It was like first preparation for the future challenges which we have in 2 years with full-scale invasion of Russian military forces into Ukraine. And diplomacy became changed. Modern diplomacy traditions of modern diplomacy became changed during the COVID times. And when I asked my team, my diplomatic advisor, which meetings will we have? She answered me, we will have visit to Germany. So I tell her, oh, we will fly to Germany. No, you will see Angela Merkel on the screen of your computer, and we'll speak to her, and it will be official visit to Germany. And so we spent 2 years with official visits, with working visits through the monitor of my computer, and it was new kind of diplomacy of modern time. It was absolutely really modern, not usual 5 years ago. Now it's absolutely usual for all of us. Many governments works online, many meetings going through the online connection, many conferences are holding online, many cabinet meetings, negotiations, even signing the international agreements we may hold online, and it's normal as for now. But 5 years ago it was absolutely innovation for modern diplomacy. So we go further, and during the full-scale invasion we have new challenges, and diplomacy became the instrument, not diplomatic courtesy, but very clear tasks, very clear purposes, and very needed results, I would say so. So first days, it was, I will begin since the first hours. It was like very challenging hours, times. Each one of us, my president, me, our teams, should take decision and should take our emotions into our hands. And to go into ahead, it was like a marathon of telephone calls, of conversation online, meetings by all possible connections lines, through the mobile phone, regular phone, security line, our notebooks. So everywhere we were in one room, and everywhere were leaders, prime ministers, presidents. We call to each other. We speak shortly, very openly, very clearly, and very pragmatically. Unfortunately, first days of the war were not bring us needed results, and many leaders just propose us run, and that they will save us in their countries. So everyone proposed to go and to be like a government in the exile in their countries. But you know, this is very famous phrase of my president, which is explained in the perfect, I would say, book, Zelensky Effect, right by Dr. Hale. And thanks, it's very, very, very truth, very open book, and there are absolutely good view on these events, and this book really helps us understand what does Ukraine, Ukrainian nation, Ukrainian thing, and Ukrainian values means. But I will explain this later. So we go to the negotiations, and President tells that we need we need ammunition. Unfortunately, it not works, and this kind of diplomacy not works in first days because of the fear of many governments to have a direct relation to this full-scale war. And then we think that we need to communicate directly with societies. And it was another one level of innovations in diplomacy, direct communication with societies. And then President Zelensky, me, all of us became communicate with universities, with people on the streets in different cities of the world. And societies create pressure on their leaders, on their governments. And then it changed the situation. Leaders begin ask us, how can we help you? And first it was very formal. First help was like 5,000 helmets for our soldiers. It was not missiles, not tanks, not air fighters, but helmets. It was needed. We are very grateful for this because first days and weeks we have not enough, nothing, not uniforms, not armored vests. Thank you so much. So it was important to find and to bring to Ukraine everything what is needed for soldiers, for our army, because in one day our army became in times bigger, and it was impossible. All around the world was not enough ammunition and uniforms for our soldiers because it was huge volume. But we begin to work, and modern diplomacy became very sharp, very clear, very direct. And this war is not war for territories. I should explain one more very important part of our communication today. What is Russian war in Ukraine? This is not war for territories. Russia is the biggest country in the world according to its territory. They need no additional square miles or hectares. They want to reclaim spheres of influence and control over Ukraine. So Putin does not act as a strategist. He is a political theologist seeking to complete his rule through the symbolic reclaiming of Ukraine, and he directly communicates this in his speeches, in his communications with his society. For him, it is not about practicality, not about something pragmatic, but it's about symbolism as a tool of power and legacy. So in his logic, Ukraine is the essential piece for reconstruction of the Russian Empire, of the Soviet Empire. You may name it as you want, but Russian Empire, in fact. There is a long story behind why Russia and Putin personally see Ukraine as a diamond in their imperial crown, but that deserves a lecture of its own. I think that we may discuss this next time. What matters here is this. Ukrainians view this war as a war for independence and for the right simply to be, simply to exist. So this is existential war for us, and we especially appreciate your support and support of your society who understand what does it mean have a fight for your existence, for your just being here in this world. At the same time, no one wants peace more than Ukrainians, but peace cannot be a pause. It must be a sustainable state rooted in justice, dignity, and the right of self-determination. So we continue our fight, and many of your leaders, of your presidents, have told about such kind of fightings as we have now. But again, this is, I think, that topic of another our conversation. So now I will come back to our innovations in diplomacy, going into ahead, which methods, which approaches, which instruments in modern diplomacy are works. With beginning of full-scale aggression of Russia in Ukraine, diplomacy exchange, no doubt, and exchange instruments and approaches for modern diplomacy. We begin to call each other directly on mobile phone. First days, I have on my mobile phone all prime ministers all around the world, or all presidents, and we call to each other and share between ourselves short messages. Sometimes I just send them photos of these terrible crimes which Russians have made there on Ukrainian territories, around Kiev, in Kiev region, Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv region, these mass graves after liberation in 1 month. Sometimes leaders, deputy prime ministers call to me and ask for mobile phone numbers of another leaders, and I ask them, we exchange by these mobile numbers, and it was direct diplomacy without any preparation, without long cooperation between teams, preparation of notes, theses. It was really direct, very friendly, and very clear, very open communication. I need this, you need this, we may do this, and we just call to each other, and really it was like video connection. So Prime Minister of Poland called to me and tell me, so we are here, I'm and President of European Council, so we have some words for you and we need to speak, and then we will call to another leader, and it was like this, 24/7. And it was really direct and very, very fast diplomacy, and I name it mobile diplomacy because we call through the FaceTime, through the video WhatsApp, through the video signal, and it was really fast and really direct. And I will repeat this, without traditional diplomatic courtesy, without this, you know. So, and it was very pragmatic and very result-oriented, because we have no time for so again, for this traditional diplomatic conversations, thinking, exchanging by thoughts, it was, we need result. And such was worked modern diplomacy, and it was also innovation. So, about our new instruments for new diplomacy, and about how fast and how resultative became modern diplomacy. So, first hours, we begin call to all the leaders. First leaders, it was President of United States, Prime Minister of UK, our neighbors, Prime Minister and President of Poland, and neighbor countries, European Union. So it was like if Russians begin full-scale aggression in 4 o'clock in the morning, so in 5 o'clock we begin first telephone calls with President together. We were together with him and called to all leaders and ask them for our messages. We have no preparation. I will repeat, no theses, no notes. All the notes, it was like small papers, and I just write there, all Russian money should be confiscated. One note. We need a weaponry, artillery, missiles, tanks. Second note. Third note, sanctions on the SWIFT system for the banking Russian system should be implemented immediately. Third note. So let's discuss with leaders all of these points, and we go into ahead with this very clear, short, and very concrete messages, which will lead to the concrete results. And again, it was absolutely innovative for diplomacy, but mood and situation was so stressed, so dynamic that it works. It works good. And for example, freezing of Russian assets happens immediately. So European Union, many countries all around the world freeze Russian sovereign assets just during the night time. Till the 9 o'clock, all the Russian assets were freezed all around the world in all the banks. And in 9 o'clock, Russian armored collective cars goes to the banks for the cash, for this money, to take it off, but it was impossible because in period since the 5th o'clock in the morning to the 9 o'clock in the morning, it was freezed. It was very fast first decision, and it was a very first and again very fast result of modern innovative diplomacy. And it's something what let us hope to have this frozen Russian assets. I will explain the next instruments and next steps with frozen Russian assets, how it works as for now, and it's also innovations in diplomacy, but it was first step and it was successful. So all the next steps, direct communication with people, fast communication with leaders, was really good and really resultative. So, instruments. sanctions and confiscation of frozen Russian assets. This is two very important instruments during this war because we need ammunition, we need to create pressure on the front line, but Russian army and Russia as a country is a strong army, strong power, and Ukraine resist for 3 years, not 3 days, 3 years against of this aggression successfully with your support, with support of civilized world, with support of United States as a senior partner in this resilience, and we will continue so, but to win this war on the front line, I understand and everyone understands, is impossible because of Russia is nuclear state. And if they will lose this war, all of us sure that they will take this nuclear weapon and it will lead to something more bad than we have now. So because of this, we need to create a pressure from both sides. From one side, this is a front line, and we do so. We pay for this huge and the most terrible price, human lives. But from another side, we ask all the world, create another one pressure, sanction pressure. It works. And the best evidence that it works is that on the each negotiation, on the each conversation, Russia asks, take off the sanctions from Russia. So it means that sanctions works. Some of them works better, some of them worse, but in any way, sanctions is a good instrument of modern diplomacy against aggressor, potential aggressor, existing aggressor. And 5 years ago, sanctions exist, but were works not so widely as now and not so effectively as now it works against Russia. Begins different types of sanctions, so sanctions in different spheres, secondary sanctions, sanctions which help us don't let Russia avoid first previous sanctions. So this is important instrument, and the sanctions against Russia became the most comprehensive in modern diplomatic history, and Ukraine's active role in initiating and evolving them became part of our foreign policy agency. So we proposed a new approach to sanctions, not just one-time moves, but a strategy, and this works like a strategy. So the United States implement hundreds of different sanctions against persons, against companies, against state, against spheres. So sanctions against some economical sectors, sectoral sanctions so named, are very effective and very tough and very painful for Russia, so it's a good instrument. Constant adaptation to evasion tactics, so it's also important because Russia and Russian partners countries help them avoid sanctions, and unfortunately it works like it's a situation when they try always to avoid, to go out of the sanctions. And above all, long-term pressure, even if the immediate impact isn't always visible, we need to continue the strategy and we need to press on them, despite even when they say, oh, sanctions for us is nothing, so no problem, our economy works perfectly, so we sell our oil to another countries, we open another market, so sanctions are very painful for their economy, and that help us to take additional money, to take over incomes which they use for financing this bloody war, for production of missile, bombing Ukrainian cities, villages and civilian objects. So sanctions pushed the boundaries of what was previously known. The use of immobilized Russian assets expanded those boundaries. So the next message is about frozen Russian assets. So for the first time in modern history, the democratic world agreed not just to freeze an aggressor's assets, but to channel profits from them as a recovery fund for the victim. So Ukraine is a victim. We have damages. According to the World Bank data, these damages now are estimated in amount $524 billion. This is only on the controlled by Ukraine territory, so we may just imagine what is happening on the occupied territories. So it's a huge amount, but we know about $300 billion freezed and immobilized Russian assets all around the world. So it could be very good, important source for recovery of Ukraine in future, for buying the weaponry for Ukraine, and 3 years ago, it was impossible to imagine that sovereign assets will be of Russia, will be not just immobilized, but also used for support of Ukraine. So now we go to this moment and we have 50 billion so-named ERA loan by G7 countries, which is given to Ukraine for support of Ukraine, for recovery, for our budget needs. Right now we use it, and we believe that we will go to the next step, total confiscation of Russian assets, and using this through the international compensation mechanism for recovery of Ukraine after war will finished. But the formula behind it is simple: legitimacy, political will, and legality. In the beginning, countries tell us that it's impossible. Assets are immobilized, so don't ask more. We press them and ask more. We explain that we need this money and that aggressor should pay. Not American, not European, not Ukrainian taxpayers shouldn't pay for all the damages and losses, but aggressor should pay, and this play two roles. First, this is a source for recovery. The second, this is accountability of Russia for their crime of aggression. It's clear, so legally it's absolutely clear. And we press all our partners for political decision, and in the end of the day, we have this political decision. And first step, we use the windfall incomes from frozen Russian assets. So from the first diplomatic, is it not legally possible, to the implementation of political will and usage of these assets, we spent 2 years, but again, modern, innovative diplomacy is oriented on results, so we have these results. Without this, it wouldn't be impossible, our so long resilience. But we demonstrated legality is not the starting point, it is the outcome of legitimacy and political will. So it's a main message which I would like to say in my second part of our conversation. So I think that we may discuss all the next point and issue during our conversation, during our dialogue, but I should say that we also work to create a new instrument, international compensation mechanism. It will be absolutely new, unique diplomatic instrument to create international fund, international commission, and international register of damages. Register is created, it works, so now we are on our way to create another instruments, and we'll go into the international confiscation. But international tribunal for the crime of aggression, international criminal court, all of these instruments of modern diplomacy against aggression are very important. The globe and security order of the globe is changed, and we need to bring back some kind of security order on the new globe. So there was some steps. The first step, it was in 2014 when Russia occupied Crimea, when the globe security order began to change. But in 2022, the globe security order changed finally, and this full-scale aggression demonstrates that any aggressor may take a look on another country and go into a head with aggression. So we need to stop this, and we need to implement new instruments of security order, which works for 80 years after Second World War. But now we need a new instruments, new diplomacy, new instruments for security order. I think that in parallel with confiscation of frozen Russian assets, we will initiate implementation of new targeted tax on Russian commodity exports, tariffs that go directly to the compensation fund. And this is a model very similar to carbon border adjustment mechanism, but instead of carbon, the tax will lead to the geopolitical harm of aggressor. So this is our another one aim, another one instrument which we would like to implement. So I think that this is such a pre-conversation of our next dialogue. In conclusion, I would like to invite all of you to visit Ukraine. So, big part of Ukraine is more or less safe, and you may visit Ukraine right now to support us mentally, to support us directly. I invite you to visit Ukraine after this war. I'm absolutely sure that it will be European Union area, and Ukraine will be member of European Union. So this is our another diplomatic political target, and we will reach this because we make very concrete, very clear steps since the first days of the full-scale aggression. So we are moving toward European integration, and I'm sure that it will be absolutely safe place for your visits, beautiful place. So invite you to visit Ukraine. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your support of Ukraine. Your attention in 21st century, for me, is the most valuable resource, and I'm really grateful for this. I'm ready for your question. I'm ready for our conversation. I'm ready for our absolutely good results hour after meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prime Minister, and let me just underscore our warm welcome to you. We could not be more thrilled that you've joined us here today to provide your insights and to engage with our students and with our GW and our Georgetown colleagues here. I want to say one word about our mission at the Elliott School. We are committed to our mission of educating the next generation of global international leaders, of producing scholarship, as you've seen with the Zelensky Effect book, scholarship that advances understanding of important global issues, and engaging the policy community in the United States and around the world toward international dialogue and policy solutions. So with that three-part mission and our longstanding emphasis on Ukraine, with our Petrok program on Ukraine, I feel that we're bringing it all together today, being able to host you, hearing your perspective at an important, consequential moment in your country's history, and offering that chance to interact with our students. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We can hear directly from you.
Thank you for the invitation.
And we are particularly delighted that you've been able to join us today. We're seeing what could become fundamental shifts in the international order, threats to longstanding values and relationships, and we greatly appreciate how Ukraine and Ukrainians have stood up bravely for these values, including international peace, territorial integrity, and of course, democracy. So I'd like to turn and ask you the first question. It's a big question. I think it's a question that's on everyone's minds. Your government is in active dialogue with the current US government on a negotiation to end the war that Russia started. So where do things stand? Where have these negotiations progressed from your perspective, and what can you share with us about your own role in this process, given your visit here in Washington?
Thank you so much. I will repeat that this is an existential war, and we understand that Russia is aggressor, Ukraine is a victim. We are not easy victim for Russia, absolutely, and thanks to your support. I will repeat, United States support us since the first days, even earlier, because we have a first javelins from United States, and it's an absolutely famous fact. And I think that we are fighting for mutual values, for our existence. Russia continue its aggression. It's impossible. When you are a victim, you can't stop fight. You can't stop protect yourself, because it will mean that you need to die. It's a very simple. You may take a situation on the street when aggressor is attacking for victims. So victims, if they are not fighting for themselves, they just are dying. So we can't stop this war, because to stop fight for us means to die. To stop this war, me Putin, in one day, in 1 second, in reality. And because of this, I told about sanction pressure, I told about more weaponry for pressure on the front line, and pressure from both sides will lead Russia to the decision that this war costs them too much, too expensive, and then they will stop, maybe. we'll see. I'm sure that President of United States, the government of United States, absolutely clearly sees the situation. And now, when Putin continue attack Ukrainian cities by missiles for the last weeks, and when he kill children, kill civilians, destroy civilian infrastructure, houses, so President Trump absolutely clearly communicate that this is not way to the stop of this war. And it's clear for all of us, for all the world. So I'm sure that United States play crucial role in this peaceful process and in stopping of this war, absolutely sure. We have very good, very productive meeting with Secretary Bessent 2 days ago, on that week during our working visit to Washington. It was very, as always, very friendly, very open conversation. We discuss our financial cooperation, we discuss our future agreement. We really need agreement. We discuss free trade agreement, we discuss agreement for mutual investment fund, how will we recover Ukraine. So it's very pragmatic, very good conversation. Our law firm and governmental teams continue work under the conditions of such kind of agreements. We will work, and it's absolutely good, pragmatic, intergovernmental cooperation. Today our presidents have, I'm sure, good meeting, and we have good communication, post-meeting communication. So I think that we will have good results of our mutual cooperation, and I will repeat, United States are crucially, existentially important partner for Ukraine, and we count on United States, we count on United States society, we count on your society. Universities are very important influencer inside of any societies all around the globe. So our conversations, our communication is important, but I should repeat, United States are important and existential partner for Ukraine, and I estimate that we have perfect relations and will have so in the future.
Well, let me follow up on something that you mentioned. I think we've all seen the news. There is currently a negotiation process involving a push from the United States for a deal on rare earth minerals and other kinds of natural resources in Ukraine. That would eventually create an investment fund to support your country's reconstruction. Yesterday, President Trump said that he hoped this deal would be signed immediately. This outline deal, as we've read in the press, is not without critics. Some people have called this exploitative. We'd love to hear how you see this. Can you share how the negotiation on this specific question has evolved? How do you see such a deal enhancing Ukrainian security and ensuring a lasting peace, and if so, under what conditions?
So I should mention that we discussed this with you, dear Dean. Now is a hybrid aggression of Russia. So we have a war on the front line, on the ground, but Russia is attacking Ukraine, European countries, and United States in different dimensions. And informational, disinformation influences, social influences, they are existing, and they highlighted some special communication. They do it very professionally, and we should count on these influences. But from another point of view, there are political criticisms from different sides that something is wrong. Now, agreement is under the negotiations on the level of technical teams and legal teams. So absolutely pragmatic negotiations. As for now, we include all the parameters, all the frameworks of this agreement. So European integration is number one parameter which couldn't be hurt by such kind of agreement or agreements, because it could be not one agreement, there will be one intergovernmental agreement and some executive agreements. We go to this model. Constitution of Ukraine, territorial integrity. So some things couldn't be heard by this agreement, and it's okay for all sides. Some very important, I would say, intergovernmental balances should be included into this agreement, so 50-50 and equal parts of participation in the fund. It was principle and it is important for us. Disbursement of money or some assets into this fund is very important, and now we are in discussion. And these discussions are very professional, very technical, and there is no manipulation. So it's like discussion between partners. So I'm sure that we will reach a good result and we will sign good agreements, because before this war, it was our aim, it was our dream to have such kind of agreement with the United States for mutual production, for transfer of technologies, for mutual extraction, for sharing production agreements, for gas, oil in the shelf of Black Sea, in the production of gas and oil on the Ukrainian territory. So now we have 22 of 30 critical raw materials. So it was our proposal to United States, to Europe, to bring businesses which have technologies, proper modern technologies, to extract these critical raw materials and produce some high added value production there in Ukraine. So we need this to increase our GDP. We lost 30% of our economy. We lost 30% of jobs. 3.5 million jobs are just destroyed, and we lost this part of economy. So we need new technologies, we need new investors, we need new approaches for economy, for critical raw materials, for new production. Because of this, for us, this is a proper way, and we will continue work. So because of this is intergovernmental agreement, it will need ratification in our parliament. It will take time for negotiation for the technical details, but I'm sure we will reach good result. So everything now is going according to the pragmatic, normal work, and please don't take a look on this sensational communications in some press from some politics.
Well, let me follow up. I mean, in your answer to the last question, you started to look ahead. Can you speak a little bit more about what you think the most fundamental challenges your country faces in thinking about rebuilding after the war?
So, we lost 30% of economy, I told this. We lost civilian infrastructure, and all the damages and losses cost more than $500 billion, according to the World Bank estimation. So we will need to implement some stages of recovery. First, and we decided this since the first year of the war, we need to implement so-named rapid recovery. So right now, despite the war risks, despite the risk of repeat of damages in some kind of, for bridges, for houses, we need to repair this and we need to recover this and reconstruct. It means electricity. Without electricity, nothing is impossible. And I told that it was my biggest fear that in first hours of the war, Russians will destroy our electricity grid and will make blackout in Kiev and will leave us without connection. So it would be absolutely tragedy, and it would be like the end of the war in the very beginning. But they didn't do this because they count to conquer Kiev in 3 days and just save it for themselves. It was their mistake, which let us survive. And our resilience, absolutely, resilience of our people and bravery of our president. But I will go back to the recovery principles. So electricity, demining, because without demining you can't recover or rebuild electricity. Just our electricians brigades are dying on the mines. Russians intentionally mining some objects, many objects on deoccupied territories. Then recovery of houses and flats for the population, because without this they will flee to European countries and out of Ukraine. So we need to create for them conditions for normal, if it's possible to name normal conditions of life. Then we need to recover critical infrastructure. For example, bridge to village without this bridge, not emergency services, not food, not drinking water you can't bring to this village. So you need to recover this bridge. Even if Russian will destroy it again, you need repair it again and again and again, because it's critical infrastructure, critically important for surviving of some part of population. And small and medium business support. This is 5 critical needs for so-named rapid recovery, despite the war conditions. Electricity, demining, housing, critical infrastructure, and small and medium business, just to let people earn money for surviving. When they lost their jobs on the big fabrics, enterprises, they need to find solution how to earn money. And for this, we implement special governmental programs to give them possibility take a grants, take a light loans for development and for launching of the small and medium businesses. It works. It works very good, and many people go to the entrepreneurship. So it's in Ukrainian mentality, and it works absolutely good. So this is one part of recovery. The second part is so-named Marshall Plan for a long period, since the day one when we will stop this war, when we will win this war. We will need some global plan for recovery of Ukraine. It will be the biggest project of recovery on the European continent, but all around the world. So it will be the biggest project of recovery since the World War II. And we invite United States businesses participate in this business, in this business for recovery. Why? Because since the first days I tell we united in defense, we will be united in recovery. And it's important to pay tribute for support to our partners and to invite them to participate in this $500 billion project for recovery of Ukraine. Now we are working closely with World Bank, with many think tanks. We have meeting here with United States think tanks 2 days ago. It was very productive, and we generate some senses of future recovery of Ukraine. We will see how it will move. First half year, it will include change of legislation, it will include demobilization, it will include election period after the war. So the next 5 to 10 years, it will be like increasing GDP dramatically and increasing economy, launching of the new enterprises, development of this critical raw materials production enterprises. So this all will be included in this big plan, which now we begin to work together with American think tanks, with World Bank, with our partners, with European Union. So this is our view. How will we go out from this war, destruction and losses?
Well, let me ask this. You've just spoken about your invitation to U.S. businesses to come help. We have many students here, as you can see, students who care about Ukraine, students who are Ukrainian, who are Ukrainian American, students who have an interest in Ukraine. After the war ends, what kinds of opportunities might you envision for them, thinking about post-war Ukraine? And how should our students prepare themselves to work with Ukraine or in Ukraine in a possible future in a reconstructive mode? What kind of skills or ideas would be especially useful?
Thank you. And once again, thank you that you all are here and that you are interested in our conversation, interested in Ukraine, in support of Ukraine. I should say that many professionals will be needed there in Ukraine after war will finish. First of all, I should say, I will just very like a helicopter view on these needs. Will name some professions and some needs which I can identify as a prime minister, as a person, as a Ukrainian. So it's a mental health, number one. All Ukrainians, not just veterans, not just families of killed people, need this mental support. All Ukrainians are mentally needed support and some new approaches. So number one is unite society to bring new mental health approaches for Ukrainian society. Another one sphere of action is engineering. We will need to implement new artificial intelligence technologies. We will need to implement robotics because we have not so much of workforce. Many Ukrainians flew out of Ukraine. It will take long period of time to bring them back into Ukraine. But we need to increase our GDP, our production dramatically in very short period of time. So there is no way just implement artificial intelligence technologies, robotics, digitalization. So all of this we will implement. We will need modern engineers, IT specialists, artificial intelligence specialists. So this is another sphere, very high technological, which we will and which we need to implement in Ukrainian economy. But sphere of culture, of religious, of mental health, education is crucially important. A new approach to the education is important. Why? Because artificial intelligence, robotics, digitalization, all of this we need to begin to study in our schools. From the high school and then to the universities, it's absolutely new, and we need begin this immediately, right now, since this year. And we are discussing this in our government, and will implement this immediately to have this potential immediately after war will finished. It's important, and it should be young people, and if here are presented such kind of specialists, we invite all of them to support Ukraine, to participate in these ideas of recovery of Ukraine in all directions. So, but again, veterans policy, medicine, education, and all high technological approaches where Ukraine could be very successful in military production. Unfortunately, but because of this war, we implement many new technologies, many innovations in military production complex, and now Ukraine produce 5 million drones per year. In the beginning of this war, it was 5 or 7 drones which were produced in Ukraine. So during the first year, we implement special approaches. We change our legislation. 30 laws and hundreds of resolutions of Cabinet of Ministers were changed, and we create absolutely new modern market for drone production. Later for electronic warfare. Later for another high technological military production for radars, for other high technological military and dual usage production were implemented in Ukraine. And now hundreds of companies emerge in Ukraine and launched new businesses, new high technological production. It works perfectly. We may share this experience, but we need more specialists in this sphere. So now our attention is on the artificial intelligence and on the digitalization. So robotics is very important, because so you know, when we fight with corruption, when we were fighting with corruption, we told, and our president told, that computer do not take bribes. Clear, it's impossible. And you change human factor by the digital factor, and now we have DIA, the most famous product all around the world. All state services are digitalized. All state register are connected, and you may have any document, any order which you need immediately in your application. So I should tell the same about robots. A robot will not delay on its job. Robot need no time for eating or for resting. So it will work. It will absolutely discipline. It will increase productivity 10 times. And people should learn new professions, new engineering professions to work with robots to increase productivity. It's crucially important, and it's important direction. Another one, the last one, not least, but last for our discussion, is agricultural sector. So Ukraine is a huge agricultural country. You know that before the war, no one don't even mentioned Ukraine among the agricultural giant of this world, but number one exporter of sunflower oil is Ukraine. top 3 exporters of many kind of grains is Ukraine. So African, Middle East countries are hugely dependable from Ukrainian supply. And when Russia blocked Black Sea, many countries has just famine because of this delay of supplying of our harvest. So now we have 75 million tons of harvest per year. It's after occupation. Before occupation it was 2 times more. But if we will implement new agricultural technologies, if we will implement irrigation in south part of Ukraine, we may increase this production 3 to 4 times. It will be huge volume, which may additionally bring the food to the 600 million people around the globe. It's very important, and it's another one great sector for our attention during our recovery after this war. I will stop here. There is many other sectors and many other professions which we need. All who is here, all will have possibility to bring your professionalism and your solve to Ukraine.
Mr. Prime Minister, I know you have just a few more minutes with us. We have some questions that were contributed in advance from students. So I'd like to ask a few of those before you have your hard stop here. You spoke about this in your prepared remarks, but if you could just distill this, what do you think is fundamentally most important for students of foreign policy to understand about Ukraine and the future of Ukrainian-American relations?
We are great partners. We will be great partners, and this is the main. So for me, United States nation is not just partner; it's just friend nation. We have the same values. We have the same view on the values of the modern democratic world. Yesterday we visited with my team some monuments here in Washington, and there are absolutely beautiful phrases, beautiful notes of your presidents, of your heroes. There are some just really great phrases, great words. For example, on the Korean Veterans Memorial, there is freedom is not free. It's absolutely about our situation which we have now in Ukraine. So I'm sure that United States people, United States society, United States nation understand Ukrainians absolutely 100% clear, and understand for what are we fighting for, and understand why Russia is attacking Ukraine, and what we need, which support we need. So because of this, I'm sure that we will have absolutely good, absolutely pragmatic, friendly, very partner relations in future. No doubt, absolutely.
Let me ask
if you ask about this. I have no other answers. It's impossible to answer something another.
Over the course of the war, you have met with senior religious leaders, the late Pope Francis, Patriarch Bartholomew, and others. Can you speak a little bit about what might be the role of religious leaders in bringing this war to an end?
It's important. It's important to communicate with all the leaders. And Pope Francis, who died some days ago, unfortunately, he is a strong leader, and Vatican is the oldest diplomacy in this world, 2,000 years. They have absolutely great connections, experience, possibilities, and Patriarch Bartholomeus is a very influential person all around the globe, and religious leaders play a crucial role in many very concrete businesses during this war, bringing back kidnapped Ukrainian children from Russian territory. It was their role, and President just gave to Pope some list of Ukrainian children, and many of them were bringing back into Ukraine. We have very good conversations with Pope about influence on Russia as aggressor, on other countries to support Ukraine. So it all works. So they really may communicate in very proper, very diplomatic, very mental way many things, and it costs and it play crucial roles. So religious leaders during this war all around the world, in Ukraine, play a very important role for support of population. So for example, inside of Ukraine, our religious leaders, we have met regularly, and they play crucial role for mental support of communities, religious communities, for support of moral of soldiers, of society, and again, their communities. The world religious leader play crucial role connecting leaders between themselves, playing role in some special projects, treatment of Ukrainian children into the Vatican hospital, fighting for cultural heritage and values through the Patriarch Bartholomew, because Russians are destroying many churches on the Ukrainian territory, many museums, religious buildings. Religious leaders really helps us and support us in this very concrete directions of cooperation and bringing security on Ukrainian territory.
So we might have time for one last question before you have to head off to your next engagement. You've spoken about your desire for the American private sector to come assist in reconstruction. You've had meetings this week. Can you talk a little bit about the role that the private sector and private investments would have in maintaining stability in a post-peace era?
Absolutely. You actually asking this question, you answered on the question, because I told that we will need increase our economical capacity dramatically, and we will need private sector, because state is not always, I would say, always not effective businessman. So state is a state, and just private business may run economy with proper speed, increase it dramatically, and we will need American businesses, European businesses, transfer of technology. It's very important. Without this, nothing is possible, and in modern world, in modern economy, transfer of technology is very important for Ukraine, for Ukrainian recovery and rebuilding. So the role of private business will be crucial. Now our government is working, and we are looking how to deregulate all of our economy, all the activities in our economy, to create special economic or special recovery zone, or maybe to implement special recovery legislation for this period of reconstruction of the country's economy. So we will create good conditions for businesses in Ukraine. We shouldn't forget about businesses which stay in Ukraine during the wartime. It's very important, because this is brave businessmen, brave businesses. They pay taxes, they save jobs, and 600 United States companies are staying there in Ukraine during the whole period of war. It's very brave businessmen from United States, and we are so much grateful to them. More than 500 United States businesses leave Russian market. Principally, when the war begins, they just go out from Russian market, do not pay taxes to the Russian bloody budget. And we also appreciate this, and we are very grateful, and we invite these businesses who leave Russian market to come into Ukraine for future development, for future reconstruction projects, and like a compensation that they lost some part of their businesses there, to go into Ukraine and to work in Ukraine and develop their businesses. We will create special conditions for this, and I'm sure that it will be very comfortable inside of European Union, according to the European directives and security reasons. But in any way, I'm sure that Ukraine will have special regime for reconstruction and recovery for the next 10 years.
That's a great invitation.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your insights, and thank you for taking the time with our students today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. So we should finish. I think so. Okay, if I may.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm proud and it's really a great honor for me to be here, to have this conversation with you. Thanks for your questions. Thank you that you spent time in this day, because it's a weekend today, but I really appreciate that you come here, that we have this conversation. It's a pleasure for me, it's an honor for me, and thank you so much. Slava Ukraini! Oh. And God bless America. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.